It was one of those quiet Tuesday nights in Kansas, the kind where the loudest sound is the hum of the refrigerator. I was winding down, ready to call it a day. The local radio station was playing some soft rock, the kind of music that's perfect for zoning out. I remember humming along to a song I hadn't heard in years, feeling that comfortable end-of-day peace settle over me. Finally, I reached over and clicked the radio off. The music cut out, and the room fell into a deep, satisfying silence. But then, just as I was about to get up, I heard it, a soft crackle from the radio's speaker. I frowned. That's odd, I thought. I'd just turned it off. I leaned closer, my ear just inches from the speaker grill. It was probably just some residual static, right? But it wasn't static. The crackling coalesced into a voice, a man's voice, impossibly clear, calm, and measured. It wasn't a DJ, not a commercial. It sounded like someone was standing right there in the room with me, speaking directly into my ear. And the first word he said sent a jolt of pure, cold adrenaline through my entire body. It was my name. He said, my name, just once, with a chilling familiarity. My heart started hammering against my ribs. How was this possible? I looked down at the radio. The power light was off. The dial was dark. I reached behind it, my hand trembling, and my fingers found the plug. It was cold, metallic, and hanging loose, completely disconnected from the wall outlet. The radio had no power. It was unplugged. My mind raced, trying to find a logical explanation. Maybe it was a prank. A neighbor with a powerful transmitter somehow broadcasting directly into my radio's circuitry. It seemed far-fetched, but it was better than the alternative. It was like listening to a GPS, but this GPS knew exactly where I was, and it was speaking from a dead box. I backed away from the table, my eyes locked on the silent, dark device. I felt watched, exposed. Every shadow seemed to stretch and deepen, hiding unknown threats. The silence in between the voices' words was the worst part. It was a heavy, expectant silence, filled with the certainty that something else was coming, and I was right. After another agonizing pause, the voice spoke its final, bone-chilling sentence. 3 simple words that shattered my world. We're inside now. We're plural, more than one. And they weren't outside anymore, they were inside. My breath caught in my throat. My gaze darted around the room. The locked front door. The bolted windows. Everything was secure. Or was it? Had I forgotten something? A basement window. The back door. My mind was a whirlwind of frantic checks and second guesses. The layout of my own house, a place I knew like the back of my hand, now felt like a dangerous, unfamiliar maze. Was that a footstep on the stairs? A floorboard groaning under someone's weight in the hallway? I held my breath, straining to hear over the frantic thumping of my own heart. The silence from the radio remained, but its message hung in the air, a poisonous fog. We're inside now. The words echoed in my head, a relentless loop of terror. I started moving, my steps slow and deliberate, a predator in my own home, hunting for what was hunting me. I cleared the living room, then the kitchen. Nothing, no one, just the ordinary, everyday clutter of my life, now looking alien and menacing. The darkness there seemed thicker, more absolute. I flicked on the light switch. It was all connected. They were methodical. They were in control. Using the dim light filtering in from the streetlights outside, I checked the first bedroom. Always, A wave of nausea washed over me. They were in there. They had to be. I raised the skillet, my knuckles white. My bed, and on the bed, propped up against my pillows, was the old antique doll my grandmother had given me years ago. I kept it on a shelf in the closet, buried under a pile of old blankets. And in its lap was a small handheld walkie-talkie. As I stared, paralyzed, the walkie-talkie crackled to life, and the same calm, measured voice filled my bedroom. "We've been waiting for you." I didn't scream. I didn't have the air for it. I just dropped the skillet, the clang echoing like a gunshot in the dead silent house. I turned and ran. I didn't grab my keys, my wallet, my phone. I just ran. I fumbled with the deadbolt on the front door, my fingers feeling like useless sausages. It finally gave way, and I burst out into the cold Kansas night. I ran down the street, not looking back, my bare feet pounding against the cold pavement. I didn't stop running until the streetlights of my neighborhood faded behind me and I was engulfed by the darkness of the open fields. I don't know what happened to my house. I never went back. I left the state the next day. Sometimes, late at night, when it's too quiet, I can still hear that voice in my head. And I wonder, if I had stayed, what were they waiting for? What did they want? Some questions, I've learned, are better left unanswered. Thanks for listening, and please, don't forget to check your locks. You never know who might be listening.